All right, the informant back in the building. So today we're gonna jump back in time and look at the group IMX, aka Immature. Right now, when these guys first came out, it was before my time. I was too little to understand what was going on. Right, but these guys were supposed to be kid stars. But now that I think about it and I look at their lyrics and listen to their songs and look at the imagery that they're presenting, you can't tell me this is not some weird stuff. And it lines up perfectly with Hollywood and the music industry because these kids had a song called Munchies, right? And the lyrics is totally adult stuff. It wasn't explicit, but it still was like the lyrics is saying, I want to munch you up. Anyone could put two and two together and say what they think that means. And why would these kids want to be talking about things like this? Plus, the way they were dressing them. It's almost like they were sending a different message to a different group of people that we, the regular people, don't even notice. And I don't even understand how this went like this back in the 90s. Like, they were dressing these kids just like the adults. Like, if you put Immature next to like Jodeci or something with their shirts open and all that, that's exactly what they were dressing IMX as, which is immature. It's wild. So I'm thinking Immature was way too mature with their messages and their songs. I don't understand how they put that together. Now, but it makes perfect sense because the manager of these kids was Chris Stokes, right? You know, Chris Stokes was the infamous manager behind B2K. Like, you always hear his name being dropped in the title of the song, before the song, after the song, or in the middle of the song. Like Diddy. Ironically, right? That's, I didn't even mean to say that, but like Diddy, yes. And they have some similarities because Chris Stokes was the manager for IMX, aka Immature, then B2K. Now, if y'all could look at some of the images of Immature, they had these kids taking some wild photos, man, as for promo, right? It just didn't make any sense, but it makes sense when you look at the full circle because full circle come around, Chris Stokes was the manager of B2K, who was later alleged to be doing some type of unethical behavior with some of these young guys that was in B2K. And we heard Raz B make allegations about Chris Stokes multiple times. He was very vocal about the things that he went through.
This is a picture of me and Chris. And so that concludes, my rooms, the bed. This is where you do the do.
Close we were as far as us, the Chris Stokes, and our whole family. And it's like things were going around, and we weren't even believing them. We're like, nah, you don't know, you're not in it. You know what I mean? And then we start seeing facts.
Me and Boog was in a room together. Chris Stokes put us in a room together and made us do stuff together. You feel me? Me and Jarrell Houston. You're not gonna sweep anything under the rug. I was loved by Chris Stokes and Marcus Houston, and that's the truth.
The reason why I say it's a full circle is that when you think about Immature and the images and the lyrics that they were singing, you could almost see some twisted mindset going on because you have these kids dressing like this, singing about certain things, and then you have a member of B2K coming out with allegations saying that you did certain things to them when they were underage and not a willing participant in certain situations. Now, I don't know this to be true at all, but it's just symbolically, it just lines up as to why we were seeing certain imagery with Immature at such young age. Now, let's tap into Chris Stokes a little bit, right? Rasby did make some allegations against him. And then Rasby ended up taking those allegations back because of the power that Chris Stokes seemingly had in the industry. Because Chris Stokes, I don't know what family he came from or whoever he's connected to, but he is clearly tapped into the right people in the industry because to this day right now, Chris Stokes is now known as a well-known director. He doesn't even deal with music anymore, right? He's a director that has, I believe, one of the number one TV shows on Tubi right now. I don't know what the TV show is, but he's very much relevant in that space. But for some reason, as you can see, the people that did make the allegations against him at the time, their career fell short and he's thriving. So that shows you there's some loyalty in the industry when it comes to certain behavior, right? Like if you're down with a certain group of people that take part in certain things, just like how I said Immature could have been an advertisement for elite groups, right? Basically, think of the movie Eyes Wide Shut. There were rooms that everybody keep talking about, the rooms, the doors. There's rooms in the industry where these people only trust you if they know you walked in that room and you did certain things already. And this is why certain people that's connected to some dark stuff, this is why they all stick together. And this is why they hold places of high power in the industry, because for a fact, I know that there's some shit going on in the background that we couldn't even imagine. But they vet you so much to make sure you're not coming in this room unless you took the steps that we took and the compromises that we took to get here where we're at right now. And that's what the whole gatekeeping situation is about. Like, I don't know if it's really just hating on someone or whatever the case is, but they want to make sure that you went through the same humiliation ritual that they did before they could trust you. It's all about blackmailing. That's the key. Blackmailing to get to the success that you want to achieve. Once again, I'm not saying Chris Stokes is guilty of anything, but I will have to ask the question, if he had so much success in the music industry with Immature and B2K, why would he abandon the music industry instead of starting another label or whatever the case may be? Because we got to remember, when B2K and Immature was out, these guys were selling CDs. So Chris Stokes made real music money from back in the day. This is not streaming to where it's 1,500 streams for one sale, however it goes. These guys were selling CDs for $19. And unless they had a crazy split as far as business wise with the record label, distribution, and all that stuff, Chris Stokes definitely made a lot of money to where he could have become a music industry executive that had a great track record, unless his name had mud on it with these allegations that potentially could have been true or not true. But him leaving the industry makes you feel like something isn't right, as if he's running from something. The Informant, I'm out.